Welcome to Gold is Where You Find It. And today where we're going to find it is at the Etowah River lease of the Weekend Gold Miners Prospecting Club. If that interests you, go to weekendgoldminers.com. But today what we're going to do is we're going to go to the hydraulic pit where there's 20-foot tall tailings piles of river cobble from the 1800s. And we're going to do a bunch of test pans, test out a bunch of different areas and see if there's any place that's worth getting 200 feet of high banker hose or not. So let's head on over to the hydraulic pit. Smash the like button and let's get to it. Just standing here right now, looking at all those little bumps and humps everywhere, just trying to picture who was here. What did they look like? What kind of clothes were they wearing? What were they doing? What were their lives like while they were out here toiling and laboring for a little bit of shiny gold dust to spend at Woody's General Store down the street here in Auraria, Georgia. It's just really cool being in a historic gold mining district like this. I mean, I love it. Absolutely love it. Just a little reminder, I do have a merch store now at goldiswhereyouFindit.com. So please go on over there and check it out. I don't make a lot of money on each purchase, but it does support the channel. Helps me pay for gas, as well as my Patreon page, which is linked in the description. Patreon.com/rookiegoldprospector. Also, you can click that join button to become a member. You get the same exact perks as Patreon. So I got some members only content, some early access. And then we also do our reward every month. So one of the patrons or members gets a little reward package as an appreciation. Usually got some gold pay dirt or some stickers or, some gems or cool rocks. So if that interests you, please smash the join button or go on over to my Patreon page, and I would really appreciate that. I don't know if you can see that way up right in that area. Like, that's supposedly an eye socket and a mouth. And that's supposedly a man-made skull. But I'm not sure, looking at it from here. Okay, I can't resist, so it looks like a little trail here. It's definitely going to be wet and slippery. Trying to get up here, so I'm going to do my very best. This is pretty steep. I'm going to see how close I can get. I know I said I wasn't going to go up here, but it looks like it's not that bad of a climb. So we're going to climb it, and we're going to find out. And right now I'm climbing with one hand, which isn't that smart. Going up a steep hill. That's what I was talking about. It's a tough climb, and it's wet and slippery. So, I'm going to try to get up there a little more safely. I'm crawling up on my knees. Okay, this almost looks like a trail here. Okay, going up this way. Yeah, it looks like there's kind of a trail. Somebody's been up here before. All right. There it is. Let's see if we can get up there. We can do this. We can do this. This is almost like a trail. Okay. So this is kind of like stairs. There's a rope here. Somebody's tied a rope here. Is that to help get up here? All right, let's see how far up we've come. Kind of far. But you guys, all right, this is a two-handed affair. So I'm putting this thing away. I'm sorry, I have to. I wish I brought the GoPro, but I didn't. Okay, that rope was helpful. All right, I'm almost there, and yeah, I'm not seeing evidence of man-made anything quite yet. It could just be completely natural, but let's keep going. Yeah, somebody's got a nice little trail here, so this rope seems to be pretty secure. Okay, all right. Okay. So that's it right there, guys. Okay, we're almost there. So is that 2 eye sockets and a nose? Is that a skull? I'm not really sure. Well, at least there's a nice view from up here. So I climbed all the way up here. And so far, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on the man-made aspects of this quote-unquote skull right here. I mean, that's quite a stretch. I mean, who knows how old it is? This bedrock decomposes really quickly. Let's go just see if I can demonstrate that. So let's see how decomposed is this stuff right here. So this schist right here is what it's made out of, and look how easily I just broke off a piece of that schist. So either it was man-made a long time ago and it started to decompose, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for pointing it out. It's kind of cool, but my personal judgment is going to be that this is not man-made. Okay, from this angle, it does kind of look like a skull, but yeah, I'm going to say there's 99% probability that that's completely natural and not a man-made skull. I do see the resemblance, but as far as I'm concerned, that's kind of like, you know, clouds that, you know, we think look like a puppy dog or whatever. So, hey, it was cool. I'm glad we came and checked it out. I didn't get to see if there were tool marks there or not because, you know, it was just too slippery and wet and dangerous by myself. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? You be the judge. So this is probably one of my favorite places in the whole world. I mean, to be in an area like this where I can really picture it in my head. I've got a clear picture of what was going on at this exact spot in the 1830s. And that's crazy, because they were out here with hundreds of miners, workers out here mining this, both hydraulic mining and hard rock underground mining, placer mining. So it was pretty extensive here, and I have the opportunity to walk these same grounds. There's ruins from some of the old operations here, and I just find that really cool. It's a great place to camp. You know, I love hanging out in the woods. It's like 140 acres, so lots of area to explore, that's for sure. And there's lots of good gold here still, and you know, since it's private property, you can dredge, you can use a high banker, the sluice box, pretty much whatever you want, as long as you follow the club rules, which you know, are pretty clear. So, you know, basically no digging within a certain distance of a tree. You can't dig in the banks of the creek or the river. And other than that, well, you got to stay a certain distance away from the creek and the river, but you can dig on the land in the old timers tailings piles. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to prospect those tailings piles, see if we can find an area that's worth it or not. I mean, because it's kind of far away from the water source, so we would need a decent amount of hose. So got to make sure it's worth it before we set up a high banker out here and spend all the money on that hose. So let's go on over there and check it out. So one of our club members, James, his campsite is up there, and here's his little mining operation he's got going behind his campsite. This is one of our creeks right here. Not a very big creek, but big enough for him to get plenty of water here. So yeah, here's his little pond. Here's his little homemade high banker here. His pump. He's got quite a bit of hose, but we would need a lot more hose than that to get up to those tailings piles. But let's check out this little setup here. He's got some those look like dredge riffles, really steep. Some carpet in there. He's just got like a regular old what is that, a 50-gallon drum cut in half with some pipe with some holes drilled in it. Some little That looks like some 1/2-inch screen there. So it's a pretty cool little setup he's got going here, that's for sure. I don't know how much gold he's getting, but I mean, for something this extensive, he's probably getting some decent gold through here. I mean, we're pretty far uphill from the river, and we got rounded river cobble throughout here. So there was definitely some river channel workings through here. So I can see why he's picked this spot out. Nice little ditch there. All right, let's keep going. Look at that. We've actually got a decent amount of running water in this little gully right here. This feeds Picker Gully. I know there's some gold through here, so definitely might be worth doing some prospecting while we've got water here. Okay, so at the Weekend Gold Miners lease, there is the main entrance. And here's campsite 2343, where this little green shed is. I'm not sure whose campsite this is, but this is the way that I hike to the hydraulic pit, where all the massive tailings piles are. So I don't know how often this guy comes out here. He's got a little light there. Probably got a trail camera around here somewhere. But check this out right here. I wish, you know, we should probably bring this out of the weather. So it's just going to deteriorate even more. This is from the original mining operation here. So yeah, you know what? Let me go ahead and do that. I'm gonna get it out of the rain here and throw it underneath his little shelter there. All right. All right, as soon as we get over to the tailings piles, I'll be right back. Okay, right through here is where the tailings piles start, or the bigger tailings piles. Further we go that direction, the more substantial they get. But all these tailings ought to be tested. So I have no idea where the good material is or not. I can see some places where other people have done some testing. So let's walk around and see if we can find a good spot to start out. You can see right here some of the really big rock. Look at that, there's a really big cobble right here. See, we got cobble on top, and then this one right here. Obviously water worn, but it's bigger stuff. So the bigger stuff I would think would be like where you would look for nuggets, which aren't as common, although they do exist. But I want to find some medium size rock. I mean, rock like that, maybe a little smaller. Okay, this is the size of cobble that I'm looking for right here. All right, that's what I'm looking for. This, that's what I want. All right, so this is tailings right here. This is all tailings there. Let's see, where is a good place to take a test pan? So, should I go on the downhill side of a pile, or just dig right into it? Let's just try that. All right, I'm just gonna dig right into this pile right here. You know, it could be they're just, you know, here's a little gully right here where they probably had their long tom set up, and they were just throwing material here and throwing material there. And so how good did they wash these rocks off before they threw them up here? I mean, any gold that went to the top of the pile, even though it's been, you know, almost 200 years or, you know, over 100 years, the gold's probably started to migrate down towards this ditch and go through there. But I still think that there's going to be some gold in the pile. So let's find out. Yeah, 'cause look. Oh yeah. So unfortunately I got to walk a little bit of a ways through the woods with my pan here to get to some water to pan it out. So that's why I'm saying we need a lot of hose to get from there up to where we are. So the gold's got to be really good to make that worth it. The banks are kind of steep right here, but we lucked out because there's this nice little puddle right here from all the rain. So I think I'll be able to pan from right there. Didn't bring my waders, but that's fine. We're just gonna get our socks and shoes wet. It's raining anyway, so what the heck. I might be seeing one tiny speck, but we may have gotten skunked on this one. Yeah, that's not gold. We got skunked. But you see there's some chunkier pieces of iron in there. Honestly, right where this puddle is, if you look and you see, I'm right on top of tailings here as well. There's cobble all through here. Look at that big pile of cobble right there. Doesn't look like anybody's actually tried to dig into that. Unless it's modern and came out of here, which is always possible, but I don't think so, given that all around us is tailings. Right there's tailings. So let's give it a shot right by our little panning pond. All right, so this material is looking good. We definitely got rounded cobble down inside this pile. So this is old timer tailings. Let's fill up this pan to the brim and see what we got. All right, this is some good looking material. Okay, I got the first piece of gold of the day right there in the center of the screen. It's not very big, but we're officially not skunked for the day. But I think we can do better than that. Okay, so there's some gold there, but it wasn't crazy. Man, look how big this piece of water-worn quartz is. God. There's another one right there. Huge pieces of water-worn quartz. As we're walking on top of these tailings piles here, I'm wondering if I go in the gullies between the tailings piles. If I dig down, like in that low spot right there, is there any gravel? So let's just go for a little walk. I mean, there's a lot of big tailings piles up there far away from the water source. So the places that are far away from water, we know that less of a chance people high banked it. People have definitely dug into that right there. Okay, so this is one of the gullies that ran between the tailings piles. And so people have worked through here. I'm thinking, okay, right here is a low spot and there's the creek. Okay, so more tailings. All right, so we got the tailings piles here. They had their long toms going through these little gullies as they're stacking up the river channel out of the way. And then it flows down here. See, we got more tailings here. And then there's a flat spot here. And then here's where it flows into the river, or not the river, I'm sorry, the little creek, as we have more tailings all the way through here into the creek. So this is probably where I would pull the water from, right here, because we can walk all the way down into here. I'm thinking that somebody may have been trenching through here. They may have had that idea. This looks recently hand dug, and they kind of stopped right there. But I'm thinking if we go up a little higher and dig down, we might find some cobble there. But these tailings piles go all the way up the hill up to the top of that hill. So there's river cobble all the way up there. And so I'm wondering if there's gold up there. I have found little bits of gold all the way up there at the top of that hill. So yeah, I'm thinking right here where kind of all the little long tom gullies converged as they flowed into, I'm assuming this creek was here in the 1830s or 1900s. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the long toms, they flowed down through here and then into the creek. So I'm going to try this flat spot right here. Let's try that out. I mean, there was a powerful river here at some point in time. A powerful river. And I think it was wide. It went all the way up there. But you got to remember, this little hill right here, 400 million years ago when the Appalachians were being pushed up, was not a little hill. It was a giant mountain. So there could have been like a raging river running through here. There's just no telling. It's hard to know what it was like millions and millions of years ago, or even a few hundred years ago. Man, wouldn't it be nice if this little tailings pile right here is looking good, because it really wouldn't take that much hose to get some water from the creek up to right there where all these tailings are. This is all tailings. So, I mean, yeah, that's really cool way up there, but hose is expensive. So let's find the very best ground through here where we can set our high banker up on a nice flat spot and get some good gold. There we go. Got clean water to pay in here. All right, let's check it out. Got skunked. Yeah, before I ask someone to bring their fancy machine out here and set it up and go through all that trouble, I've got to prospect first and find a good place to set it up that's worthwhile, because if you're not setting your high banker up right next to good pay, you're wasting your time. So yeah, we got to find that nice spot. But let me show you what I'm looking at right now. And all this is tailings. We've got that gully right here. Somebody looks like they've been trying to dig through here, but as you can see, I think this is all decomposed bedrock right here. So I don't think there's any gravel in that. It's just basically like a clay layer. So that's going to be kind of worthless. But as you go up, what do you see? Bloop. Oh, goodness. River cobble. So there's tailings that start right there and go up. So let's try some of this material. Dig into those tailings. Yeah, that's some good looking stuff right there. Oh yeah. Look at this cobble right here. This is gonna be it. I'm telling you, this is gonna be it. I hope this is good pay right here. Clearly river cobble. This is perfect material right here. This looks perfect. Right on top of bedrock. River cobble. Okay, there's one color that the old timers missed. That's actually not a bad piece of gold. I'm actually not going to throw that one back. I'm going to keep it, even though it's itty bitty. Big enough for me though. That's a keeper. I think it's going to be really hit or miss. I think that, you know, yeah, there's gold in these tailings piles. There's going to be some places that are pretty good, but I think it's going to require a lot of prospecting. There's gold right there. We know for sure. Up here in this layer, there's at least some gold because I had gold in my pan right there. So any gold I find right here, what's cool about it is it's gold the old timers missed. It's gold that their equipment was not sophisticated enough, or they didn't wash the rocks off carefully enough in order to capture this gold right here that I'm going to be getting. That's what I'm talking about right there. Oh my goodness. Look. Look at this. Cha-ching! Cha-ching! Look at that piece of gold right there. Old timers missed that one. Nice looking piece of gold right there. That's a pretty good size one. Nice! Wow! So that means finding that one piece of gold that was flat and super water worn right here in these tailings piles, right here. Okay, now I'm thinking high banking is a thing. High banking is a thing through here. Yeah, this is it. This is the spot right here. Man, it's not that often I can stand this high above my pan and see my piece of gold perfectly. Oh, I love it. I mean, it's not even that big, but like, it's still exciting to me. Oh, is it even a feeler? Let's see. It could be just kind of flat. Let's see here. Let's wash it off a little bit in the water. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Ah, get back up here. There. Yeah, oh yeah, I can feel it. Oh yeah. Definitely a feeler. It's not gonna be a picker. It's definitely a sticker. But that's a nice piece of gold. I mean, I'm happy with that. Sweet, man. I don't think it's gonna make a sound in the pan. No, I don't think so. Wow, dude, nice. I mean, was that the biggest piece of gold in this delicious pile of tailings right here? I highly doubt it. Enormous piles of cobble. Look at this. Let's go ahead and climb up this giant tailings pile right here. And look at the big cobble on the top of it. That's crazy. What were they doing out here? I mean, were they carrying these big rocks up here by hand? I mean, all these cobbles way up here. And look at those massive trees. Wow. And I'm still climbing. Yeah, okay, so you can see here. I bet you there was a long tom sluice box running right there through this little channel. But look at this. Humongous piles of tailings. Humongous. I'm way above the river. You can see that cobble. or not above the river, way above the creek. The river's way down there. Yep, I think there were probably some long toms through there. For sure, for sure. I mean, I'm standing on a giant mountain of tailings. A giant mountain of tailings. I mean, look at this. Cobble. Way up here. Yeah, so those guys were standing here, pushing the material through the sluice box and piling it up here and piling it up there in the 1830s. That's just crazy. Crazy, crazy. So now you can really get an idea of the scale of what went on all the way up here. So this is an area that I'd like to work, but would require a lot of hose. So you got to carry your test pans pretty far too from here. But as you can see, it's just, where did this giant rounded rock come from? How did it get all the way up here? I mean, were they picking up rocks like this? That's a big rock. They were picking up rocks like this and putting them at the top of piles? Like, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy to think. I mean, what were they doing? I really would like to go back in time and just watch them work. Just watch them work. Look at all these smooth river cobbles. You know, the kind you'd like to have in your front yard for decorative stone. Way up here. There's no water here. Water's way down there. And it keeps going too. So it keeps going up the hill. So that's a kind of a little mountain-ish hill right there. And okay, so we got the tailings here, and then it's going back down. Here's where people have been messing around. Ah! Ooh, I almost hurt myself pretty good. But yeah, people have been messing around trying to see what they can find there. Some little test pits, or I wouldn't even call them shafts, but over here, more tailings, but digging into the side of the mountain here, I think this is what interests them, is they're pulling rocks like that out of there. Now it's kind of full of water right now. But yeah, I'm not seeing cobble there. But this little test hole he was digging over here, the person shall remain nameless for now. But the individual that was digging over here, I came over and looked at this, and there's cobble. Oh look, they got a tool right there. If you go down in here and look, oh, nice little scoop there. Somebody left a scoop. But look at that. What's that right there? That's cobble. So let's see if I can turn my flash on. Hey, look at that. Okay, so what do we got there? Cobble down inside the hole. Look right there. That's a layer of river gravel right there. So, oh look, yeah, and see that one right there? Sticking it in the wall. That's insane. So, I mean, I think digging a drift here is not a terrible idea. I mean, I'd have to do some test pans to see if it's worthwhile, and plus I don't have proper safety knowledge. So let's move on out of here. But yeah, interesting things. Interesting things. Goodness gracious. All these piles. Yeah, I mean, like right in here, this could be amazing, you know, in this little gully between these two humongous piles. I mean, they were shoveling material through the sluice boxes right through here. So this could be amazing, but there's no water. So, I mean, they found a way to get water. But man, this is big piles here. Ugh. Look at, yeah, that gully right down in there. I bet you there's some stuff. Some bigger cobble down through there. I think somebody has scraped some of this cobble down into there. But yeah, let's climb back down. These monster tailings piles. Look at this tree growing right on top of river cobble. So you're not actually supposed to dig right here. You shouldn't dig right here. So I don't know if this eroded down. It could have just been natural erosion. Maybe I'm tripping and nobody actually dug there. But that tree growing right on top of the tailings there. There's some big trees that grow on top of these tailings piles, as you would expect, because they've been around for a long time. Like that tree right there. How old is that tree? I don't know. How old is that tree? I don't know. There's one even... There's a big one right there on top of a tailings pile. Is that tree really on top of tailings? I gotta verify that. Because if that tree, that's a big old tree. If that tree trunk is growing on top of tailings, that's gonna be pretty telling. Telling. Oh yeah, look at that, dude. Okay, so they could have thrown the tailings around the base of the tree, and the tree may have already been there, because that's a monster. That's a monster tree. But trees, I don't know. So if they started mining in 1830, and these workings right here are from when the mine first opened, it's possible a tree could have grown that tall and that mighty since 1830. But I don't know. But that's pretty crazy, because you can see tailings pile, big tree. So it actually looks like, so the tree starts to get wider right there. So that tells me the root system, I mean, it's not like they buried the bottom part of the tree. That tree would not have survived if they piled a bunch of tailings around it like that. Trees don't like that. I'm thinking this tree is younger than that tailings pile. Wow. Right, let's slide back down this tailings pile and go back down to where we were working. So let's walk through the middle of their sluice box here, because that's what was here, guaranteed. Sluice box. You can see the water was channeling through here where their sluice was as they stack the rocks there. Stack the rocks there. Man, that's a huge pile. That's a huge pile of cobble. God, look at that. Wow. I mean, the scale of work is unbelievable. So this tree, obviously, right here, is a lot younger than these. Well, it's younger than these workings. But look at that big pile. And then that tree died a long time ago. Well, it's actually not completely dead, but man, it sure broke off. That's probably part of it right there. Growing on top of tailings. Okay, so here the tailings channel gets even more massive. It's like, really? You guys did this. You guys sat there and stacked all these rocks up right here. You old timers are nuts, man. You guys must have been getting thousands and thousands of ounces in order to go through this immense amount of work right here. Unbelievable. So, and then I bet you, oh yeah, you can tell where right down here, which makes perfect sense. People have been doing a lot of digging over the last 40 years since this has been a club lease. Right through here. See, look at all this cobble. Whoa. I just stepped into a deep hole. But look, cobble. Like Thanksgiving turkeys. All right. Look at that. Look at this. Look at all this cobble, and it's all got gold in it too, to some extent. God. And so back up there where the tailings start is where I'd like to prospect, but it's just a lot further walk away from the water. So, I mean, people have been doing okay through here in the past. This insanely huge tree right here is also growing on top of cobble. Look at that, see? Oh, I just dug under the tree. Oh, let me go ahead and put it back. But yeah, no digging in the banks or under the trees. Violators will be terminated. I mean, this right here is an oddly shaped tailings pile. It's just like a super steep hill. I mean, the steepness of this hill is insane. Like, what did they do? What did they do to stack this cobble up? I mean, I can't even climb up that. And there's cobble on the top of it. What were they doing? How did they do this? What was their method? Did they stack all this by hand? I don't think they had heavy machinery. They did all this by hand. So I don't know exactly when this was all done. I know it was actively mined all the way up until World War II, starting in about 1830, pretty close to when the Georgia Gold Rush started. So, more than likely those workings were done without any type of heavy machinery. But, God, the scale is unimaginable. It's unimaginable. How many people did it take? How many people were working here in order to do that? It's hard for me to even imagine. Let's go back to wherever my stuff was. This is a huge property. There it is. There's my stuff as I navigate amongst these tailings piles. I mean, you can see what these tailings piles look like on the LiDAR. So there's an app called CalTopo that I use, and all of this is plainly visible. I like the fact that I can see the clear dividing line of where the decomposed bedrock starts and where the tailings are. So, I mean, you could just chop the top off of this whole tailings pile, and I mean, we know there's going to be some decent gold through here. So, I mean, this whole little strip right here is close enough to where, I mean, if you set your high banker up right here, this is the perfect spot. It's the perfect place. You don't need that much hose, and you could just run all day. Well, this pan has multiple pieces of gold in it. There's that one and that one at the very least. So now we're getting 2 colors per pan. Actually, 3 colors per pan. So 1, 2, 3 at least. And they're not super micros. They're small, but they're not the smallest pieces of gold in the world. So I'm pulling some of the cobble off of a pile and putting it down there where, you know, we could dig it. But I'm thinking that the further I go back, the more likely I am to have gold. That, you know, things have been eroding out of the pile. But look at this material, man. Look at this stuff. This is what I'm looking for. Look at that nice, perfect little egg we got right there. Okay, I just did pan number 5 from right there. And it has gold as well, but it's not that crazy. I mean, 1 and 2 colors per pan. Yeah, I don't know.
But that's a decent one right there, huh? They all look like nuggets if you zoom in far enough.
So my conclusion is, yes, I think it's worth setting up a high banker here. Did I find the perfect spot to dig today? No, I didn't. Found a nice little piece of gold. Climbed up to the top of that hill to see if that skull was man-made. So that was pretty cool, and I had a great time today. So hopefully you enjoyed watching it, but please subscribe, smash the like button, hit the join button to become a member. Check out my Patreon linked in the description below, as well as my X account, my, what do you call those other apps? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's all in the description, so please check those out. And check out my merch store at goldiswhereyouFindit.com. But I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.